how we do it. Right here.
This is how we do it. Where I'm from, we hit the record button. Now it's on.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, guys? Cam here, and today we're in San Diego, California, and I'm here with my buddy Thomas Joel, who's a good friend of mine. We met when, like a year and a half ago?
Yeah. I don't recall the exact meeting, but
we met through my friend Juliana, and yeah, it was a good time.
Yes. Hi everyone, Thomas Joel. You can call me TJ, and we're just enjoying a sunset out here in Encinitas, California, North County, San Diego.
Yeah. And so today we were walking around, and I asked TJ, like, you know, what's something that you really want to share with the Game Quiz community? What's something that's, you know, on your mind that you think would be valuable? And a big thing about TJ is that he talks a lot about health, he talks a lot about wellness, and we were discussing about how a lot of you guys are stressed, and you're going through a journey of discovering more about your self-awareness and being able to really kind of connect more with yourself and change the different emotions that you're feeling. So TJ wanted to come on and kind of share an exercise that he has, a perspective on how you guys can identify more about where you're stressed out and how to shift that. So yeah, take it away.
Thank you, Cam. It's an honor to be here. Hello everyone, and as Cam mentioned, I love health. Not by choice, I had to. I had the calling to take action on my own health personally, and I've done a lot of work health coaching a lot of people as well. And one of the things that we can all relate to in our health is our stress, right? And so just today, as I was sharing with you, Cam, earlier, I was writing a chapter about stress for a book I'm writing. The Art of Health Hacking is the book, which will launch this fall, and the chapter is all themed to, the name of the chapter is Take a Break, Take a Breath, and Assess Your Stress. And so one of the big concepts in stress is the idea that we've got a lot more control over our stress than we realize, and we're also not in control at the same time, right? That illusion of control can lead us into stress. And today I was writing about that and how it related in my own life, and I was realizing kind of that linchpin, the key thing that makes such a difference in my day and my level of stress is being in the breath. And so I've done a lot of work in understanding behavior change science, and I know that's kind of a key area.
It's basically what we do.
Right.
Yeah.
And so understanding the concept of feedback loops is something I've been nerding out on. And James Clear, a leader in the behavior change science, talks a lot about feedback loops. And I wrote one up around our breath. And a feedback loop is basically, for example, if you're driving down the road and you see a speed limit sign, and that speed limit is 35 miles an hour, and right above the speed limit sign you see your actual speed real time. So you get a real-time feedback in contrast to what is right or what is good, and so you adjust right away. And so if you can deconstruct feedback loops like that into our own states of our days, for example with our stress and with the breath, it can lead a lot to a lot of peace. And so this feedback loop that I created starts with the breath, and then it goes to feel yourself and what you are feeling, feel what you're feeling, and getting clear with those emotions, and then go from the breath to feeling, then to asking yourself. So it's breathe, feel, ask, and then listen, and then choose how you move forward in that moment. It's a fun little way to look at how powerful the breath can be and how much power we can have when we're present with the breath. And so that's a fun one to take into consideration.
Right. And so when you start with breath, what would be the very first thing that you would do?
Yeah. So like in this moment, as people are watching this video, I would ask them to check in with their breath. Like, what does their breath look like right now? Is it deep? Is it in the stomach? It's probably most likely just surface. So starting to get used to experimenting with the breath. We might all have done different workouts, yoga and meditation, and we have started to understand this kind of ability of the breath. But there are some really great breath exercises that one can get into and can learn through yoga. A fun one that I've learned outside of yoga is the Wim Hof method. So, but one of the first things, so if you want to Google Wim Hof, check it out. It's really powerful. But one of the first things to keep in mind with your breath is that keep in mind with your heart rate. So I also talked today with one of the guys from HeartMath, one of the top companies out there that looks at heart rate variability as far as how we manage stress with our level of coherence in the breath, in the heart, actually doing heart-centered breathing. And it's really fascinating. They have some great technology, but focusing the breath and experimenting with doing like heart-centered breathing, as well as like deep breath work into the stomach, really let those lungs expand is what I look at.
So on feel, I imagine that's noticing what you're feeling from a place of non-judgment and just noticing it and just being like, wow, right now I'm feeling a bit anxious, and just noticing that, because then you have the awareness to be able to shift that if you want, right? So reconnecting with your breath, noticing what you're feeling, and then ask was next. So what are you asking?
Yeah, it's kind of like it deepens the feeling, so you start to notice what you're feeling, and then you can ask yourself more questions about what you're noticing around that feeling. And it's not about necessarily finding the answer.
It's about asking the
It's about continuing to ask the questions. You know, a wise man recently told me, geniuses or smart people have answers, geniuses have questions.
Right.
And the same thing can be said with ourselves. Yeah. So asking yourself about those feelings,
right.
You know,
where is this anxiety coming from? What am I feeling anxious about?
Right.
All of that.
What can we learn about this situation?
Right.
Yeah.
And then listen. So listen to what kind of comes up. So that's kind of creating the space to be able to like notice how you're feeling, ask some questions about it, and then actually listen to what kind of comes up. So sitting still for a minute even, and just really pondering that, and then choose. So when you're making a choice, how do you make that?
Yeah. Well, the transition, so from the listen to the choice to the choosing, is key to be in the body through that process, and not just the mind. It's the mind that can help the body and the heart express things, right, if we're in that. So I would say choosing, listening and choosing from a place of intuition, right, and choosing what feels as highly aligned and will serve you the most, it will serve your highest self in that moment. That's kind of how I look at it. How does that relate maybe to what they could consider?
Yeah, so I think, you know, for example, if you were feeling a craving, right? So first you kind of reconnect with your breath and you're like, okay, how am I actually feeling? Oh, I'm feeling kind of nostalgic towards a game. And you start to ask, okay, like, why am I feeling nostalgic? What does that even mean? Maybe it means like you miss your friends, right? Maybe it means that you miss playing a certain game because you have a memory of you playing that game with your father when you were young, right? So you're feeling nostalgic and you're asking questions, you're kind of pondering the answers. And then choose is all about, well, are you gonna play or not? And when you are thinking about that decision, it's really kind of trying to come back to reconnecting with your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? And understanding how that choice aligns with what you truly want. So a lot of times when you end up relapsing or you end up playing, it's because you're not reconnecting to that point of like, is that actually aligned with what you're truly desiring, what you truly want? Or are you just trying to escape from an emotion you're feeling in the moment and you want to get rid of it, and so you go and play? But that doesn't actually fix it, it just delays you having to deal with it, right? And so this feedback loop's a really great example of how you can kind of create that space to actually notice what you're feeling and then not have to like deal with it, and instead just notice it and be like, oh, I'm feeling this way because of X, and now I can make a choice that's more aligned with what I truly want. And you can be in that space and you can make those choices, and that's really where your life is going to change. So I definitely agree, and I think that feedback loop is really cool.
And it all starts with the breath.
Exactly.
Even as you continue to go through it, keeping the breath going.
Exactly. So yeah, that's great, and I really appreciate it. Where can people find you?
Yeah, man. You can find me on Facebook at Thomas Joel Anderson.
I'll link that below.
Yeah, and thomasjoel.com is set to launch in a few weeks.
Yeah.
And yeah, there'll be more stuff coming out online soon.
Yeah, he's got a book coming out, and once the book is out, I'll link all that stuff below too,
Yeah.
so you can check that. And definitely check his stuff out, because health is just one of the areas that are so important after you quit gaming, right? Like when you quit gaming, it's okay, you quit gaming, great. Now it's your social skills, now it's finding passion, it's finding purpose in your work, it's finding a really great group of friends, traveling, experimenting, and your health. You've been sitting on the computer for so long, for so many hours, for so many years.
And they love playing
Right.
with computer games, but you can also play outside. Like we're gonna go here in the play over here on the playground, right off enjoying the sunset, being a kid again. You know, and
Right.
we can all do the same.
You can play with your health even, like
Exactly.
you can make it fun. So
Getting
definitely
creative.
love all of that. And if you guys have any questions, hit us up in the comments. We'll be in there to answer them. And make sure you guys hit thumbs up. Make sure you guys hit subscribe. And as always, really appreciate you guys watching.
Rock on.